Podketeers.
This is where we actually start. I could say
And
this is where we're starting because I said a not so kind word, trying to do the tune to Funky Town, but just with numbers. So,
can you sing it now without? The,
I can maybe
without the
557 5575 445 5575 445 If you type that in on your keyboard,
we're gonna quiz you later.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna keep the tab open, and it'll sound like Funky Town, supposedly.
Nice.
Funky Town. Just me doing it.
I love it. Let's see. One, it's not so hot as it was this week, so I'm happy.
Well, you're not in Florida or most of the rest of the United States where it's like a frozen like ice scape.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen videos and photos of what it looks like in other states right now on the East Coast, and it is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't normally get cold. Like, I run fairly warm most of the time, so it has to get like pretty low into the 40s for me to start to feel it. But I generally start to get fairly like cooled down in the lower 50s. But before we started, I had walked outside, and I felt like it was just a nice brisk November evening. And that smell that comes with it when the wind is just kind of like flowing through it, like it smelled like November again. And there was a part of me that was a little happy, and then I thought, I don't want to go back to November, I want to go forward to November. Can we go forward to November? But yeah, it was kind of nice. It's definitely cooled off. I've been pretty busy this week, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little burned out today. So I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna bring the rest of the energy, but rest assured, I'm gonna fall right asleep after this. So hopefully it doesn't happen halfway through. But you guys want to see something that I worked on over the last few weeks?
Sure.
I finally finished. I'm a little happy with it. It was challenging because I don't have like a spray booth to paint things where it's secluded from dust and additional wind and other stuff like that. So it's hard for me to control those elements.
You should 3D print one.
I've considered it, to be honest, but
I didn't even think about that.
yeah, I consider basically making the frame and then buying like foam core to slide between them, like just basically
so
making
like a small
U-shaped
booth.
Yeah, just something that I can like, because most of the stuff that I print is in pieces, or it's like the biggest that I've made are like the helmets, right? So it doesn't take a lot of space. But I finally finished this.
Ooh,
Or whatever the theme song for that,
pretty.
the Mando helmet. How does that go? I can't remember.
And copyright strike.
That's a rock and roll. That's a rock and roll version.
Yeah. So I think for the first time using the technique to get it to look like this, I'm pretty happy with it.
Looks great from here.
Like the print quality, I think, was a lot better than any other one that I've attempted to make before. There were some places where you can kind of tell if I go really close, like you see that little glob right there of paint.
Sure, I guess. Okay, yeah.
If you come over here, you can see there's more streaking down here. And then there's a lot of speckles because of the dust that was flying around.
Sure.
You can kind of see like the dust specks all over it. So, like I said, if like for what it is and for my first time doing this, like all the way through with this technique, I'm like super happy, honestly.
Yeah.
But the paint booth or the spray booth, whatever, I think would come in really handy. Because like right there, you can tell. Like right there, you could see that.
And just for everybody listening, if you can hear that, it's
Anyway.
Heyzen's hand rubbing up against the microphone.
Yeah. Sorry. So yeah.
Does it fit? You don't have to show
it
us, but
does,
does it fit?
actually.
It fits.
I would
Nice.
have to take off.
No,
my-
don't worry about it.
Yeah,
But
it does fit. Yes.
We believe you.
This is the first time that I was able to accurately size it to my head. I think next time though, the one problem with Mandalorian helmets is that it has this like cheek indent right here.
oh yeah,
And so on the inside, it actually like comes in as well.
sure.
So it pushes in really
Oh.
bad right here. So I understand why people tend to make these a little bit larger than what their
Right.
actual helmet size is. There was another one that I started that I tried to size it more appropriately for my head. I actually showed this to you. I hadn't showed it on the podcast. I showed it to you, but here it is all taped together, just trying
Oh,
to
your
fit everything
Wolverine
mask.
together. This one also fits my Charlie Brown-esque head, but I did realize that like these are separate pieces right here, the cheek
Mhm.
part and then like the fin
Like mask
are two different pieces, and these don't allow, like the side fins don't allow like my face, like my head to go all the way through. So I was
Sure.
trying to, the reason it's all taped together like this was because I was trying to figure out a way to like join them together so that it
Mhm.
comes off as one piece. These will eventually click on and off the rest of the helmet with magnets, and
magnets, how
that
does
way
it
I
work?
can remove it. Hopefully it comes along with this piece, and then I can easily put the rest of it on, and then I'll just clip on.
clap it. Yep.
Yeah,
clip it on
with the
face.
magnets. But
I don't even think we've mentioned what it is.
I
this
said
is
I said
your
at the beginning, Wolverine.
Did he?
I said it really fastly.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Fastly,
Well-
the new word of the day. Fastly.
that's
There
that's
we
what
go.
I've been working on recently.
You know, with that Mando helmet, that maybe that'll be like the next like beauty trend, is everybody gets a Mando helmet to like help with their cheekbones. It cuts in right
Oh.
here. It, like, gives you, like,
it
the-
does push them up and hurt. I can vouch for that.
Well, beauty hurts, Heyzen.
That's true.
It is. Beauty is pain.
It does hurt to be this.
It takes a lot of work to look like this. That's a lie. It takes almost no work at all.
Let's see. I have a couple of
Thanks.
videos to show you. So there's
Oh, I knocked my headphones.
someone got a little too excited.
I was trying to do the wicked toss thing, and I knocked my
Toss,
headphones off. Toss. I had to stop.
Um,
Videos. You got videos. I'm being ridiculous over here. It's late.
so there, it's funny because there are certain weeks, we've talked about this in the past, where there's certain weeks where there just isn't a lot to talk about. The Disney
Mhm.
news
Yep.
just isn't as free flowing, and if there's something out, it's something negative that's sometimes we'll talk about, sometimes we won't. It just depends on what it is, right? This week I felt like was full of stuff.
It says
talk about.
News Week.
It is. We are not going to talk about all of it.
Nope.
We're going to focus later on in the show on
Sorry,
at least
new
one of the
churro flavors.
big pieces. Yeah, sorry, new churros. We are going to talk about Josh tomorrow later on
Daddy
in the episode.
tomorrow.
We will be talking about the Muppet Show because the Muppet Show finally premiered, or the special premiered on Disney Plus and on ABC. We had a chance to watch that, so we're going to give our thoughts on that in just a moment. Before we jump into all of that, and before I go to these videos, one of them is a Muppet video, so it'll kind of lead into
Hi
that, but
ho.
yeah. I don't think we talked about it on the podcast. I think it was just in our text chain. But do you remember the Topps playing cards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Michael
which one of you sent
Eisner.
those?
Michael
You sent
Eisner
those?
owned the Tops for a while.
Yeah, he did. Was that you, Andrew, that sent us the
Yes,
link to that?
was I.
Cool. So let me quickly share this because I want to show these cards on screen for a second, or at least this pack. So Topps is a playing card company. Many of
Sure
you
are.
may already be familiar with it because they make baseball cards, basketball cards, all sorts of trading cards.
Wrestling cards.
And as a matter of fact, there's
Sports
also
cards.
the virtual, a lot of sports cards. There's also the virtual, the Disney Collect game that
Oh,
we
right.
used to play
yes.
like a lot. And then it got really expensive and we stopped doing
Yep.
the virtual trading cards. So
Yep.
it was only a matter of time that we saw more Disney cards appear in physical form. And so Topps had made an announcement that they were going to release these Disneyland 70th anniversary packs.
Mm-hmm.
There was a pre-order that was going to happen. I want to say
February
it was
3rd at
February
2
3rd.
p.m. Something like that.
No, it was at
No.
9 a.m.
9
Oh,
o'clock
9 a.m.
in the
Yeah,
morning.
it was at 9 a.m. in the morning. And for me, it was a little bit of a bummer because I was already at work at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I couldn't hop on my phone to get
Me
it.
too.
And I wanted to jump on because I knew that they were going to sell out like almost immediately. It's one of those collector items that let me just quickly take a look because it had like signed cards, it had foil cards, it had all sorts of things that were going to make it super collectible. But the cards were really nice because a lot of them were. Here, I'll bring up this one. This is one of the trading cards that they had. It's just like an old photo of the haunted mansion when it was first being built. We have this one, just some of the art from Pirates of the Caribbean inside of the attraction. Then we have like this card here, which is one of the special autograph cards. It was Brett Iwan that signed this photo of Mickey during Fantasia. We have this one right here. These are from the little collection from Silver Screen to Main Street. It was the Paint the Night Parade with Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. So the ones that I really like were these. These were attraction posters. There's going to be a lot of these as part of the collection as well. So I don't collect a lot of playing cards in this sense. I do collect playing cards, like
Right.
actual decks of
Or you
cards,
could
like
just call
poker
them collector cards.
collector, yeah. But this type of card I don't really collect.
Yeah.
However, this set actually interested me and I thought, okay, well, I want to try to get these. They had 3 different packs that were going to be available. They had a little value box that I believe was $25. It was 5 cards per pack and 7 packs per box.
35 cards.
Yeah, and then they had the $100 pack, which was 8. It was 12 packs per box, which is the image that I was showing just a moment ago. Let me quickly bring that one back up. It was this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
This one was 12 packs per box and 8 cards per pack. And then they had a pack you could buy that had 12 of these boxes per case.
Wait, so they had more cards per pack in this box than the other box?
Right, because the other one was
Yeah.
just kind of like a little value box.
Interesting.
Right? And this is basically the whole box that you would see at like a Target or a
Right,
Walmart
okay,
or like
yeah.
a hobby shop or something like
Sure.
that. So for $1,200, you can get 12 boxes of these.
$1,200.
I missed out completely
Mm-hmm.
on these. By the time that I jumped onto the website, the only one that was available was the $25 one.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time that I tried to purchase it, it said it was available. It said add to cart. But when I tried to add it to cart, it said you need to log in order to purchase this. I was like, log in? Like, when have I ever had to log in to purchase something from somebody? And I thought, all right, well, I still want to buy one, right? I'll set up my Topps account. At first, I tried the Topps Collect account that we were already using for the virtual game. It did not work. I had to set up a whole new account, which I was kind of angry
Ooh.
about. But I set it up, went to go purchase it, and it was out of stock by the time I set up the account and tried to purchase it.
Oh,
So I wasn't
Naturally.
even able to purchase the $25 one. So I was unsuccessful. Were either of you able to get any of the any of the packages available?
Nope.
I got one.
Oh, you did.
I
Yay.
did. Yes.
The $100 one?
No, no, I bought it wasn't even available by the time I remembered to go on there, but I had the same situation as you, other than I was able to check out, and I bought one. I bought a single one
Nice.
just to see what it's all about. I'm not chasing like you said, I don't really collect cards too much. I do like little paper things, ephemera and stuff like that. So maybe when they show up, it says they're shipping in March sometime. It says release date March 13th.
Okay.
It says orders placed during the pre-order window are scheduled to begin shipping in advance of the product release dates of March 13th. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we'll do We'll do one of those those
Yeah.
guides that do the cards. We'll do an unboxing on an episode or something when they show up.
I like it.
See if I get anything fun.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw when they had a bunch of the concept cards that were gonna be available on the website. Some of the ones that I showed were a part of it because they were trying to show you like what the types were gonna be. They have
Sure.
what are called foil parallels. Like the timeline ones have some foil around them, so those are the foil parallels. The posters were another set that were a part of it, and then they showed a lot of the base cards, which were also timeline related. The difference in the timeline is that the standard one has a white border, and the parallels has like a black black border with some foil on it. But the one that excited me the most was the snack time one, because look at this. Who doesn't want a trading card with a bunch of Mickey beignets on it? Come on now. Come
That's
on.
cool.
So I didn't
love
know
this.
this was a thing, but it says download odds. And it like
Oh.
on there, and it'll tell you the odds of getting each kind of card in the type of box that you got.
Okay.
Where
So-
and where does it say that? Where do you check it?
It's on the page that you like would
Oh,
in
I
theory
see
click
it.
buy now or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but it says sold out.
Okay, so I
So
just clicked on it right now. Whoa, I want to go to some of the rare cards.
They're
over
at the
here.
bottom.
Yeah, I'm gonna scroll down over here.
But it's like I don't understand. Like it's like base set green. It's 1 in 21 odds.
So
I'm like,
remember, I
okay,
told
got it.
Yeah, so it's broken up into the 3 columns. So if you get the
Yeah.
$25 box, it's going to be the hobby column. If you get the value box, which is the $100 one, it's going to be that middle column. And if you buy the $1,200 worth of cards, it's going to be the 3rd column.
Well, it looks
So
like you have
obviously-
better odds buying the hobby column. They're lower in every column.
I don't know how they set these, but I wanted to see those signature, the attraction autographs. You have a 1 in 237 odd chance
Of
into
getting
getting
attraction.
that one.
But then there's like below
The
it
foil.
Yeah, foil.
Oh, they're broken up into different color
Yep.
foils as well. So there's like the standard anniversary foil, which is 1 in 719. There's a gold foil, which is 1 in 1,142. The orange foil, which is 1 in 2011. Black foil, which is that timeline one that I was talking about earlier. That's an example. There's a 1 in 4,761 chance of getting it. And then the attraction red foil, 1 in 9,011. And then the one that I think is going to be the biggest chaser, obviously, is the attraction autographs foil fractor, is what they're calling it. There's a
Wow.
1 in 45,871 chance of getting it. That
Yeah.
is
That's
insane.
silly.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's funny if you go to the next column over, it's 1 in 280,000.
Yeah. I think the columns are backwards. Actually, I
This
think
is-
I think that the columns are named
So I think
incorrectly
hobby
here.
might be the big box.
The big box, yeah, because your odds have to go down the more packs that you have. So I
Right.
think they're named incorrectly. So yeah, this is
Okay, so if there's cards that are 1 and 400, what the biggest number, whatever it was,
280,000.
that
That means
how
there's
can
like
they
two.
let cards sell out?
That
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 makes
just
no
means there's like
sense.
2 cards of that kind like,
Yeah.
in existence or
But
whatever.
For me, I'm like, that makes no sense. Like,
That's what makes them
that's what
rare
makes them
and
profitable.
valuable.
Yeah.
that's
The
dumb.
fact that instead of making, 10,000 of them, or making a series of 400 pins that all get purchased by 12 people and then sold on eBay for $500. Instead, they buy all of these packs of cards, which are already being sold on eBay for $2,000 for that $1,200 one. And it hasn't even shipped yet.
Nope.
So
No.
if you hear, as of the posting of this episode, if you hear or see any listings, if you're interested and willing to pay the money, if anybody says in hand, they're lying to you.
They're not in
because
hand.
They
these
are.
They
don't
have a
even ship
receipt
until
in hand.
mid-March.
Yeah, mid-March.
Yeah, so don't fall for that. But
I'm curious if these will like you say like boxes will ship to like a comic book store or like a Walmart, or if these are going to be online exclusive or you'll be able to find these in the wild at all.
That's a good question.
oh, that is a great question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Because
remember
it says
seeing
like this
anything
is a
about that.
pre-order for the launch date that is March whatever.
You know what? I wouldn't see. Okay, I think that's what I was wondering, because it's like, how can you just have it to this and not offer it to like buy them in store and something?
Yeah, or
'Cause
like
not
at the
everybody's
parks
gonna-
or whatever. Like
Yeah.
me
Because I
see.
wouldn't mind buying a few packs. I don't
Right.
even care if I get a full. If I
when
do,
they're like
great.
$5 a pack or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want to open and see what I have.
exactly.
I mean, I don't think they'll be $5 a pack if they're sold in the
Not in this
parks. If you get
economy.
them,
Or
if you get
whatever
them
it
at like
is, yeah.
Target or Walmart or like a comic book
Sure.
shop or something, they'll probably be like $6 or $7.
That's fine.
But if you buy them in the park, I'm sure that the Disney tax will be
Yeah, they're
$15 per
12,
pack or
15,
something,
yeah.
like 12 or
Yeah.
15. Oh, look at this one! Boom!
Alex Verde. Monorail
Yeah.
narrator.
Ooh.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland monorail. Monorail. What's that sound?
Monorail.
So is there a list of? I mean, do they have
Of all
is
the
there a
cards
list of-
available?
Yeah.
No, I think it's just like categories of cards. It's
Yeah.
not like specific, like what. I think they're just showing off a couple, but they had Brett Iwan and then Alex Verde. So I don't know how. And they had what's his name, Billy R2D2.
Because my next question was gonna be, do they have like Bill Rogers, or was this like, would they have that?
Yeah,
Tony
Cameo.
Baxter, Joe
Like voice
Rody.
talents from the past.
This is the box that you bought, right, Andrew?
I believe so. Yeah.
This is the
Oh, that's cute.
yeah. This is the one that I tried to buy that they didn't have.
And I'm gonna buy the cards, and I'm gonna open them, and I'm gonna put them back on in the box, and then I'm gonna put the box on the shelf.
This is one
Well,
of
you
those
know
gold
what?
cards that they were talking about, the gold
Yeah.
foil.
I guess I need to get one of those like Pokemon card folders and put them in there and you flip. through
Yeah.
them.
Create a nice
I'm trying
little
to
catalog.
find what I have, but I may not have those kind of cards. But I've got some cast member cards from the park.
Oh, I have. Let's see. Do I have quick?
I'm
access?
content. Whatever's. But if people want to trade, hey.
The cast member cards?
Yeah.
I've
They
never
gave us
heard
a
of
pack of
those.
cards, and they were random.
Oh,
don't
I thought you
remember
meant like actual cast members, like posing as
No,
baseball
no.
players or something.
Oh, are these the ones that had like there was like a indie one? Like they I think I've seen these.
There were,
I thought it was actual cast members. I was like, I
no.
want
Like
a
here it
Maynard
is,
trading
Jeff,
card.
Jeff from Custodial.
That's
do you
awesome.
know how awesome that would be? I would love to have a card for me. Like,
Does anybody? I just was thinking of cards, and I found these from the D23 Expo with all
Were
the
those
characters.
the ones that they did at like the Visa booth?
I believe so. Yep, they
Like,
have.
I have like
You
They
have to have the
Mickey
Visa
on the
credit
Visa.
card.
You
Yeah.
didn't have to have the Visa credit card, but that it was presented by Visa.
Oh, when
And-
I walked up to it, they were requesting that you show the
Oh,
Disney Visa card.
I think it was like there was certain booths that you could only go to with Visa, and then there was some because it was like they were
Got
dropped
it.
like at random places, if I remember correctly.
I see.
and there was
I
also
should-
other cards that they had of like from the artists, like their artist series. I have like, I remember getting like 3 because they were just getting rid of them. So
Oh, I didn't get. I think I got just the one from where they required to show the Visa. I didn't
Ooh,
see any of the
there's-
other ones.
I didn't realize there's some
kinda
park
missed out
ones
on
in
those.
here.
no.
There's what?
Some like park ones. Like
See, you're already ahead of the game. There you go.
here's a Figment,
Oh,
and
nice.
here's
Oh, those ones.
the Dream Finder,
Man.
Yeah.
and here's the hippo from It's a Small World.
But do you
I
have
like
Hatbox
that.
And
Ghost?
here's the Hatbox Ghost.
Oh!
And here's Jose.
That
Those are all the
actually was not from this last expo.
No, this was
No.
from
Yeah, that's from, like,
3 expos
2015.
ago or whatever. Yeah, it was a while. I just was
Those I
trying to-
do have.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of what cards I had on hand. I have those cards. I have the pack of free Lorcana cards from
Mm-hmm.
the thing they just did. Look
know
at
what
I
I
love
just
little
found?
pieces of paper. Look at all these little pieces of paper.
You
These
know
are
what
all
I
those
just
tickets.
found right now that you said Lorcana from D23?
Huh.
The Lorcana pin that they gave away.
Oh, the Mickey.
The one
little
with
guy?
the Mickey. Yeah.
I have. Him
I
somewhere.
had no idea where it was, and
Mhm.
it's been lost basically since the expo.
Look at that shiny
and-
bell. Look at her. Woo.
Yeah, I like
Hey.
it. That's the one I don't have.
Oh.
That's the
Well.
one you got at DCA, though, right?
Yeah. Well.
Did
yeah.
you also get the shiny beast?
No, it was too hard, and I didn't care enough, and we had the reservation for something.
Nah.
Oh, because
I-
we did it right before Halloween party or Oogie Boogie Bash.
Oh, right.
so
I
we had to
remember
go.
now.
We just like did it right before.
You just
so,
needed
yeah.
another group to go say, "Let me borrow your pins." And
I was trying, but then it was being annoying.
yeah, I found my Lorcana pin jammed between the seat of my car and like the center console,
No.
like right at the bottom, and I was vacuuming, and it got
No.
caught, and I just heard, and I pulled up the vacuum, and I saw the pin, and I was like, ah! I thought it was gonna get sucked in, but it was wide enough that it wouldn't have
Okay,
passed
no
through.
good.
Found a,
So-
a Maui tattoo.
Oh, make it dance. Put it on and make it dance. So, yeah. So there's these cards. If anybody out there had an opportunity to get them, let us know what your experience was like. I'm wondering how quickly those larger boxes sold out. I feel like the bots may have gotten to them before most people would have been able to purchase them. My brother told me that he tried to get them, and he didn't tell me if he was successful or not. He evaded my question, but
Oh no.
Oh, maybe he's trying to be secret because he got one and he's going to surprise you.
ooh.
Huh?
Maybe he's a nice brother.
I mean, he is.
I didn't think about that.
A good
Maybe.
and nice,
Nice
brother.
person.
Maybe. But he does
Okay,
know that
so
I was
squirrel.
not successful because I was at work, so so we'll see. We'll see. End of March, I guess, or mid to end of March, I guess.
Yeah,
is when
March
we'll know.
13th, I think, is what
So
did
I'll
it
keep
say?
you posted.
March 13th.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. Let's see. Let's jump over to this real quick because I remember when we were talking about the former cast member, now Sabrina, who played the Evil Queen,
Oh,
and
sure.
a couple of other
Oh, yeah.
characters, recently was let go from her role.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, she has come together with, I don't know, I've never heard of them before, but there was an account that I found called Pixel Playhouse, and it just says that it's I guess he makes just musicals with his friends, and he had kind of teased that he was working on a new musical on the origins of Ursula.
Okay.
And he posted this the other day. Bring up this video here. This is what he posted.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down! Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the
So it
procedure?
looks
That's
like
cool.
Sabrina will be participating in a new musical called Her First Deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Okay.
guessing it's it's the origin of Ursula. I was gonna say I guess that's what it is, but he very clearly had said that in a previous video. So it looks like she is moving on.
Yeah,
it
good
looks
for
like it's a
her.
really fun project. I'm looking forward to seeing this. I had never seen this account before. I'm
No,
not
it
sure
looks
if
like they
the song
did a
title.
they did a Yzma thing with what's that guy's name, Brian Hull or whatever, voicing Kronk.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
I just put it in the chat. I don't know if you want to hear it, but they posted 6 days ago a song from the musical
Oh,
with her
let's
singing
see.
it.
Let's see here. It is currently playing an ad, so let's give it a moment here.
Ad. Hello Fresh. Get yourself some Hello Fresh or whatever. That's
Get
not an
yourself-
ad.
No,
We
this
don't-
is actually
we're not sponsored by
for-
Hello Fresh.
For
No.
taxes.
Taxes.
It's
Do
a
your
company
taxes.
doing
'Tis
taxes.
the season.
TurboTax or H&R Block or
So
one of
Pixel
those.
Playhouse, we're going to share your video. Please don't send us a strike or anything.
Yeah, go over to Pixel Playhouse and watch this stuff. It looks fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here is the video of the song. It looks like it's called "How She Got Her Shell." Don't feel sorry for me.
Yep. And there's some like little artwork going along with this.
Sorry for the mess. Oh, I wouldn't touch that. So, would you like a beer? Wish I had some here. Anyway, it's just that I've never had a. Never mind that. What's the word? What brings you here?
She has a great voice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be shy, little one.
It's a little snail.
Well, they say that you're Poseidon's kid. True. And you lived among the royal and rich. But one day you vanished because you were banished on account of your being a
Witch?
Yeah, and I'm awfully sorry about that.
I'm not. Look at
All right,
me.
I'm not gonna
better than
play any
Yeah,
more
let's not
of
play
this.
the whole thing, but
Uh,
it's just getting started. It seems pretty good.
Yeah, I want to put a
Yeah.
link to this because this actually sounds great. She has
Yeah.
a great
Right.
voice. I had not heard any clips of her singing. I did start following her on TikTok at one point, and a lot of the stuff that she was posting were lip syncs. And, I hadn't actually seen this side of her. But, I mean, when you look at all of the work she was doing as the evil queen in the parks,
Mm-hmm.
you could tell there's some kind of like theater background, or some kind of training, behind her performances, because she was just so good at the role. So this looks very promising. Pixel Playhouse over on YouTube. They are also Pixel Playhouse over on TikTok if you want to check them out there.
Let's see. They have. I'm just gonna list some off for you. They have Yzma's villain song. They have LeFou's song, Hades villain song, Mirabelle's villain song. Let's see, what else do we got?
It looks like they have Anxieties song.
That's funny. So yeah, it looks like they've done a bunch of. The Scarlet Witch's villain song.
That's fantastic. Wow. Well, I am all for this. I love this. It sounds like it's gonna be a pretty fun project. So once it's released, we'll let you know. But if you want to keep up with them, again, check it out, Pixel Playhouse. It looks like that's what they are on all social networks, actually. So it'll be really easy to find them. Let's see. The other video that I wanted to show you is actually related to our next topic. So I'll tell you what, before we jump into this next video, how about we take a brief moment to thank a very special group of listeners and viewers known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it is their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to go to podketeers.com/FGP. On that page, you'll find some information about what the FGP Squad is all about, a list of some of our top contributors, a link to our Patreon, just general information. But being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for new Podketeers gear, additional content that we've uploaded to Patreon, random giveaways, a special section of our Discord, and more. So if you're interested, head on over to podketeers.com/FGP. And of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. And since we're talking about links, now is a great time to let you know that podketeers.com/links is a great resource. It's a great page to have bookmarked on your phone, on your computer, because on that page you'll find a link to our latest episode, the Disneyland playlist, a link to our Discord community. We'd love to have you as part of that as well. You'll find any fundraisers that we're running with our official charity team, Teamboat Willie, a link to our YouTube channel, a link to our Armchair Imagineering playlist, and more. So again, podketeers.com/links is where you want to go. Set a little bookmark or set a shortcut on your home screen so that you can easily access it. I can promise you that at least once a week that page is going to get updated with a couple of things. But anytime that we're running additional information or want to share additional fundraisers or anything that's happening, we'll post it on that page. So it becomes more of a resource page as well. Podketeers.com/links. Now let's get back to the show. Okay. So this next video, like I said, is related to the Muppets, since we're going to be talking about the Muppets Show in just a moment. The video was of Miss Piggy
Yay!
doing one of the Vanity Fair lie detectors with Kermit the Frog.
Oh, Melissa's got her pearls on too. I just
Exactly.
Da, da, da.
And the pink.
All right.
I'm like, yep.
And
Right?
the pink.
Well done. All right, here we go.
This person, Sabrina Carpenter, is in our new special. Mm-hmm. Didn't you think I had enough star power to carry the whole thing on my own?
Piggy, it's not that. You know, we had to have a special guest, so we asked Sabrina.
Do you think Sabrina is a better singer than me?
Would maybe you rather ask some softball questions like, I don't know, what's my favorite color?
Why would I ask that? Obviously it's lavender, because that's my favorite color.
Good grief.
Back to my questions. Sabrina arrested me at one of her shows for being too iconic. Did you think I should have been arrested?
Well, I'd rather you not be arrested for anything, but in that case, it was okay.
Would you bail me out of jail if I ever got arrested for real?
Yes, of course. Wait, you're not planning on doing anything illegal, right?
No. Why are you?
Well, no.
You have to answer honestly. You're attached to a lie detector.
No, of course not. I am not going to do anything illegal.
Okay, good. Because I don't know who'd bail you out if you ever got arrested. How's he doing, Stephanie?
He's telling the
That
truth.
was mean.
All right. This person...
So, Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. I believe that there is a longer version of this video available up on the
sure.
Vanity Fair YouTube channel. This was just a clip, obviously, but yeah, there is a lot of promotion with the Muppets
Yeah.
going on right now. Kermit appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live recently as well.
Yep.
I loved that that appearance because it was one of those appearances. It was the first one that I had seen because I've now seen multiple, but it was one of those appearances where they bring you into the audience, and then you see the entire Muppet, right, just walking or sitting on the couch, and obviously the people there are seeing a little bit different than what you're watching on TV. But the way that they shot it and the way that Kermit sat down and everything and did the interview, I love when they do that. They did it obviously on the Muppet Show. We could talk about that in a moment when Kermit was on stage. But the Muppet Show, we've been asking for something like this for a really long time. We just lost Mel.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I hope that's
we're
not
gonna
bad.
figure out. Yeah, we're gonna figure out what's happening with Mel. So we'll be back in just a moment. And we're back. The joys of doing a live show.
Yeah.
On the interwebs.
On the interwebs. So we were talking about the Muppets. We were talking about all of the interviews. Kermit was just recently on Jimmy Kimmel. And I really love the way that they kind of cut the segment because you got to see like Kermit full body walking out, you know, sitting down in front of Jimmy. I love when they do stuff like that. So again, the Muppet Show is something that we've been asking for a really long time. A lot of people were really sad, obviously, when the attraction closed down. The entire area that was over at Walt Disney World closed down. We're hoping, obviously, that this is not just a one-time special, that enough people watched it and that it gained some traction so that we get more of this.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this this so far one-time special for the Muppets? Mel, let's start with you since you decked out with the pearls and everything.
Kylo Ren more. Yes, that's the first one, but I actually got to see it. I saw it multiple times. Actually, the first time I got to see it, I thought it was great. Nothing was. I thought it was a little too short. I really wanted more, that's for sure. But it gave everything we wanted. So the second time I saw it on mute because I wanted to see the visuals, and I don't know why I wanted to, but I saw the visuals and the way that they presented everything. If you didn't even have to hear anything, it just gave you a great story, and then the actions of every segment, or I guess you would say segment, happened. It was still hilarious. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I try to look for different things. I try to look for little stuff. It was really well produced. And did I have it play 5 times in a row on mute in my background? Because yes, I did. Because if you were going to make a statement, this is it. And that was like the whole mission that everybody's had since knowing that the show was going to come back.
Yeah.
Are we
Should we
going to
flash a
spoiler
spoiler
alert?
alert?
Spoilers. Here it
Yeah.
is.
I'm going to flash a
Clank.
spoiler alert. That way people know that we may spoil a portion of this. It is definitely worth watching. So if you don't want any of it spoiled, go watch it, come back and listen to the rest of this. But if you've already seen it, then you know what's going to happen. So, spoiler alert. Go for it.
Okay, so here we go. I don't think that's the only one. The way that they ended on the cliff note, on a really dark cliff note. That's not what I meant to say.
The cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yes. Really dark. Really made you think twice. You're like, wait a minute. You can't end it on this. You can't have a single. I'm going to call it a pilot. You can't have that if you're going to tell us someone's going to die off. But I don't think that's going to happen. You can't. You cannot. You can't kill off. Is it Statler?
Yeah, that...
You can't do that.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you both about that. Before we jump into that, Andrew, what are your thoughts on the show, like, overall?
Yeah, I agree that I assumed it would be longer. I had assumed it was like an hour special because it was like, usually when they say special, it's an hour long, but it was a 30-minute, slot. So I could have done with more. And if I knew that for a fact that this was going to be a weekly show or whatever, then I'd be content. But I think for the half hour they had, they really did pack a lot in. I really enjoyed the sketches. I think that, it's a good showcase to show that, like, the Muppet Show is a thing that is still viable in 2026. Like, it's something that stands the test of time, the format of the show.
Yeah.
And the characters are still there. I know a lot of folks were talking about Kermit's new voice, and after like 3 seconds I got used to it, and I'm used to it now already, so it's like not even a big deal. I think, and in the later media like stuff like the Jimmy Kimmel thing that came after, like, this being recorded, and some of the newer stuff, even that clip we just showed, I think the voice has, like, improved even more just since then. This two things, I think, he's still working on it and stuff like that, but I think the hate for or the dissent for Kermit's new voice, is it Matt Vogel? I can't remember.
It's Matt
It
Vogel.
Is it Matt
Yeah.
Vogel's doing?
Yeah.
I mean, veteran Muppet performer, like, he's been with them for forever, like Matt Vogel. So one of the people that's been there working with these characters and knows the Muppets. Like, I don't think it would have been better getting a guy that can just do a Kermit voice, because I had watched a video or read something with the puppeteer, and he talked about, he's like, Kermit is, even though he's a simple puppet, he's like very complicated and has so much expression that he can do that, like, even the most, like, well-trained puppeteers don't necessarily have what it takes to be Kermit. It's not just the voice that goes into being Kermit. So there's all those things to take into consideration.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I was going to mention something very similar, that it's not just this performance, but other performances that Matt Vogel has done as Kermit. It did take me a little bit of a moment to kind of get used to Matt playing Kermit, because there is a distinct, like, it's very distinctive the way that he plays Kermit. But I wish I was trying to find the creator, because I couldn't remember who I heard say this, but they made a really great point that whenever you hear somebody say, like, oh, they have a really great Kermit voice, like, what we tend to recognize as the Kermit voice is the, oh, hey, hi ho there, this is Kermit the Frog, right? Like, what you're doing is you're trying to impersonate Jim Henson.
Right.
You're trying to match that specific line because it's
Right.
what you're most familiar with. But what Matt does is he has to play Kermit. He's not trying to impersonate anybody. He's not trying to impersonate Jim Henson,
being
which
Kermit.
ironically enough, when Jim Henson was voicing Kermit, he was inspired by Steve Whitmore when he like first started acting like as Kermit. And so Matt is trying to make Kermit his. Like he's trying to
Sure.
be Kermit, not trying to be Jim being
Right.
Kermit. Right? And so once I had that in my head, when I saw this special, in the first like 30 seconds, I was able to get over the whole like it doesn't sound like old Kermit. I was all in, right? So I was really happy that I came across that video. I'm gonna try to find the creator that said that, and if I can find their name, I'll like flash it when I'm editing this this video so people can go check it out because it was a great point.
If you put up like the Jim Henson against Steve Whitmire against Matt Vogel.
Steve Whitmire,
Well, Steve Whitmire's the guy that took over after Jim Henson.
Right.
But
Um,
and so that
anyway,
if you put all those up together and listen to them back to back, they're not gonna sound the same. Your brain does stuff that's like, yes, Kermit has sounded the same for 50 years and then they changed it. That's not true. If you go like it's the same thing with Miss Piggy and Fozzie and stuff, but they're much easier, I think, voices in general to do. And also, I think Bill Beretta has been doing Fozzie and Miss Piggy for so long. Like he basically has been doing it, I think, longer than Frank Oz did Fozzie and Miss Piggy at this point, or just as long. That the people in the people viewing stuff now don't really have can't tell them apart. Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is what Fozzie, this is what Miss Piggy. But if you go back and listen to Miss Piggy, especially in the movies, like the Frank Oz Miss Piggy is a lot different than the Miss Piggy that is going on now. And the same thing with Fozzie. Like they're all in the same vein and they have the same idea and the same like mannerisms and stuff like that. But it's not the same, and you get used to it. So chill out, people on the internet. Also, I will say, not enough Fozzie. I'll say that much. That was my gripe, is not enough Fozzie. But they had a lot of ground to cover in 30 minutes, and I did like the Gonzo naming off the best supporting actress.
That was awesome.
It was funny.
Yeah. So, like for me, when I first saw it, obviously this is the truest adaptation of the Muppets that we've had. And the first concern I had going into it was, how Disney-fied is this going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because when it comes to the Muppets, they've had a way of filtering them a little bit so that they're not as Muppety as they were. Because I think one thing that I think either people don't know or forget is that the Muppets were never a children's show, right?
Correct.
The Muppets were designed to be an adult, like show that you could watch and just kind of, it was like a sketch comedy show. It was kind of like SNL, but with Muppets, right? And with these variety shows, obviously they were really popular in the 70s, and, a lot of the humor was like, some of it would not fly now, right? And when I was watching this one, I remember hearing Sabrina Carpenter drop one line that I was like, that's the Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
This is 100% true to the Muppets. And it felt like that throughout the episode.
Was it the kink line?
It was the kink line, yeah. I heard that. I was like, oh, this is for adults. Obviously, kids will also enjoy it because they may know some of these Muppets from other things, but this is going to be geared towards adults. And I felt the same way about the time frame. I really did feel like I thought we were going to get a full hour out of this instead of a 30-minute special. because you're right. I've always thought of like it's a one-time special as a 1 hour thing, right?
Right.
So I did feel like I needed a little bit more. The storyline of Kermit trying to get all of the acts in because they were coming back felt really rushed because of that 30 minutes. I really feel like they needed a little bit more time to kind of let that play out a bit. I do feel like they left a lot on the table there. But overall, the musical numbers felt very Muppet Show. You know, having the chickens dancing with Sabrina, I think were really great. The mixture of the song with Kermit and Sabrina with what looked like the Kiss the Girl scene from The Little Mermaid, I thought was super cool. The one thing that I would potentially criticize, or was done really well, you know, knowing that it was meant for adults, is that having a contemporary artist singing an older song like that, I think was bridging the gap, you know, between like old Muppet Show and like the older audience that grew up watching it and the new audience that knows the Sabrina Carpenter of it all, right? Knows her as this new artist. Plus it introduces, you know, artists to prime example, at the end when they did the whole musical number, my son heard the song and he's all like, oh nice, they're closing with Queen. I was like, I know about that song. He's like, I listened to that song, I got that song on my playlist. I was like, all right. Right on. So, you know, again, it introduces people to new music that they may not have been, you know, familiar with. So, overall, I think it was great. I would love to see more. The credits, I think, even down to the credits, it looked like old Muppet Show, the way that it was kind of stuttering and the way that it was like, you know, going through the credits. Weird to see Sabrina Carpenter as an executive producer. I don't know if you saw that as they were like flashing the credits. So, end of the episode. Let's jump back to that, Mel. You brought it up earlier.
I do want to really quick bring up, I misspoke when I said Bill Beretta was the voice of Fozzie and Miss Piggy. Eric Jacobson. I misspoke. Everything I said as Bill Beretta, switch that over to Eric Jacobson. Bill Beretta is a Muppet performer, but does a lot of the other Jim Henson. The Jim Henson stuff, Rolf and Dr. Teeth, Swedish.
I'll throw mine in here too, since you just did it, because when I was talking about Jim Henson voicing Kermit, and I said he was trying to be Steve Whitmire, it wasn't Steve Whitmire. I don't remember who he was trying to be like. I know I said that when I was talking about it, but
somebody
at some point I'll correct myself. But
sure,
yes,
we'll figure out who you're talking about.
Yeah. So back to the end of the episode. Mel, you made a really great point saying that they left us on this cliffhanger, and it could have been a really genius way for Seth Rogen to kind of entice Disney into giving him more episodes to do, because he's like, well, you can't just leave it. Or let me try to do Seth Rogen. Well, I mean, can't just leave it. Watching him like, oh, something's wrong with my arm. It's like obviously insinuating that there's, you know, potentially a cardiac episode that's about to take place. Really weird way to end it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how I feel about that.
You're right.
If they did take that step, it would obviously shake things up and get so many people talking that we would want to see more of the story, and it would, you know, potentially turn into like there's gonna be a mourning period and everything. So it's really weird. I did not expect that. It was the biggest swerve ball in the entire episode, so I know exactly how you felt, Mel, because it caught me off guard. The first time that we were watching it, I actually had to rewind that part just to make sure that I heard what he said was like,
Yeah.
you know, like feeling his arm and everything. I was like, oh wow, is he actually having a, like, wait a second. Like, how did you, Mel, you told us, Andrew, how did you feel about that particular section and how they ended it?
Well, you know, Disney Plus did that thing where it like went tiny, and I think it did it too early on mine. So I just watched it for the first time now.
Oh, so you hadn't seen it?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, or I was looking at my phone. Who knows? But no, I had my phone down. I think it just did a weird thing. Anyway, my feeling on this, just based on watching, is I think it's doing exactly what they were trying to do and get people talking about weird stuff that happened in the Muppet Show. Like, just like we're doing right now. I think it's a nothing. Like, I don't think it's going to be a running thread of, you know, the heart attack, you know, waiting to happen. I think it's just like, hey, did you see that weird heart attack joke on the Muppet Show? Like, we're just talking about it like this. I think that is the intent of the Muppet Show, because nothing, everything in the Muppet Show, the original Muppet Show, nothing went between. There wasn't threads. It was just like, this is an episode of the Muppet Show. We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
No other episode matters. You could jump in at any point to any episode of the Muppet Show, and it's a standalone thing. Mm-hmm. So I think that's just a joke that they decided to write and put in, and it made it in, and there you go. I don't think there's
genius.
Yeah. It's getting people to
'Cause the
talk
way
about
that
it. I mean,
it
it's getting
was
us to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the joke? I forgot what he was saying, but I think Statler responded with both. Do you remember what it was like? I don't remember what it was. I
think he was
feel
talking about having to do, like, there was more to it. I think that's what it was, or it was like midway from the show.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the joke was, but those listening might remember the moment that I'm talking about. There, especially with Statler and Waldorf, I know that their entire shtick is to be very dry with their jokes and, you know, being smart Alex. I almost feel like
it could have been about Disney being broke.
Something like that. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Because they were doing it because they were broke, or because the show was broke, and he says both.
Yes.
There were certain jokes that I felt didn't come off well. Like I feel there was a better punchline, you know, for them, and I think that was one of the jokes that I heard, and I was like, oh, that one was harsh. That I don't know how other people felt about it, but there were a couple moments. Yeah, there were a couple moments on the show that I just thought I think could have been punched up a little bit more, but I don't want to complain too much because we got a whole episode of the Muppets, right?
We did.
Mm-hmm.
It did keep it very close to what I remember being the Muppets, you know, growing up and watching the original.
I found
Muppet
it.
Show.
I found the joke. I'm scrubbing through. It is right after the Gonzo segment, and he says, "Wow, that was painful." He goes, "For us or for him?" And he said, "Both."
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like there was a
Thank
better
you.
answer for that one. I don't know why. It just, when I first heard it, I was like, it
Yeah,
just,
the one-
I don't know. It didn't land for me.
Yeah, Melissa said the one that you're talking about. It's like, well, it ain't broke, and he's like, no, they are broke. That's why they're doing it. Oh, that's the other. I'm scrubbing through all the jokes.
Yeah.
There was where was the whole, I don't know why I'm laughing. This is dumb. I'm just thinking about other stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I did appreciate was how, you know, Uncle Deadly didn't have any spoken words or any lines or anything, right? But what they did is this was like the backstage area, and the way they positioned who was talking, they had the Muppets behind them, the supporting role, I guess you would say, but they gave them all equal face time, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I love how they did that. So they try to include everybody. I was in my head, I was thinking about that, but then I was laughing at the whole the little quick thing with Janice and Kermit, and how
About
she was
the
teaching
aura.
him to relax,
And breathe
and then
in.
she just walked away.
Yeah,
And it's
those
like,
beats.
okay.
Those beats were definitely great. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That I think it was overall. I think it had the true essence of the Muppets.
Yeah.
Just a couple of jokes that I think more. It was more of a situation where I understand that if they're bringing back the Muppets, they want to like bring in a broad spectrum of audience, right? They do want the old fans. They want to build new fans, obviously. And the reason I'm saying that a couple of them didn't land is because I didn't watch them as a Muppet fan. I watched them as watching my kids react to certain jokes, thinking like, how are they going to get that generation to laugh at that type of joke? Right? So that's why I think some of them didn't land well, because their reaction was either confused or like, that wasn't funny.
Yeah, but
You
I
know,
mean, like
so-
you said earlier, this isn't a show for kids. I mean, I know you have older kids, so it's not like it's not necessarily not for them, but I mean, I don't know what they're trying to do with this specific thing, but the Muppet Show was a primetime variety show, like, you know, any of the others, just with puppets. Like, you had already brought this up, so if it's more geared towards, you know, I think the special itself was probably more geared towards appeasing most Muppet fans, I would have to say. To
It was
be
a
like,
love letter
hey,
to
we
Muppet fans.
are not screwing this up, which, like, Seth Rogen seems to be a big fan of the Muppets.
Yeah.
The director, Alex Timbers, has a great Broadway track record we talked about, I think, in the past, seems to, you know, enjoy this as well. And Sabrina Carpenter, like, everybody has been very like up on the Muppets. So I think that, yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes you try stuff and it seems funny when you write it, and then it doesn't land, and that's just like writing for a TV series or writing in general. Like, sometimes stuff doesn't work. And who knows, maybe it was the best of like 10 jokes that they tried to do.
It's possible. I mean,
'cause
I don't know the
everything
writers.
who knows?
Yeah.
It could have been like, these 5 other jokes got shot down by Disney, so we have to use this one instead, because that's the one that was approved, right?
Great point. And that was one of my that's why I said I wondered how much this was going to be Disney-fied. Right, because they obviously wanted to clean it up. I want to hope and say that with the addition of Hulu to the actual Disney Plus app, the expansion of the type of content and the ratings of the new content, obviously the Muppets aren't going to be rated R.
No.
Right? But they are going to push their limits when it comes to the types of jokes and the innuendo and stuff like that you get.
But
as
it's like
part of the
Disney
jokes.
owns Family Guy. Like,
Right. But that's why I do feel that the legacy of the Muppets, I think, was honored really well as part of this special, because a lot of it felt like to the theater, you know, cutting to the audience and seeing, you know, the handful of people that were in the audience and stuff like that. Seeing Muppets in the audience. The Maya Rudolph thing.
That was funny.
Hit or miss for me, I think.
Really?
Yeah, like everybody else, and when I talked to the kids, my wife, they liked it. I was okay if we didn't get it and we got a little bit more of the rest of the Kermit story.
Right.
But I know that they usually have like other little vignettes and stuff like that. Yeah. To me, it just, because it was just such a compressed time frame for this episode,
they tried to fit so much stuff.
I feel like if they didn't include the Maya Rudolph stuff, we could have gotten more of the storytelling for the rest of the show.
Right, but that's how they got Maya. That's just like how they fit Maya Rudolph in.
Right.
Like, instead of doing like another sketch, they have a second guest star.
Right.
Well, 3 if you count Seth Rogen, but he's not really. He's just kind of like around and says like 4 lines.
Yeah. But Fozzie approaching him and asking him about his dream, I thought was pretty damn funny.
I mean, hey, getting a Bridgerton sketch in there, very relevant.
I thought that was funny. Yeah.
And you know this is also the return of Rizzo the Rat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Steve Whitmire.
Singing Blinding Lights.
Yes.
That was great. My youngest was laughing at that because he loves that song.
I didn't even know the song. I'm just sitting there like,
Really?
yeah. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but okay.
Yeah.
Rizzo the Rat, and a bunch of rats are singing it.
Yeah, he likes
That
that
was
song, and he
awesome.
heard it, and he was cackling at seeing the rats,
Yeah.
doing all the dancing and stuff like that. So, so there is some appeal, obviously, to younger audiences, and that's why I brought up what I said earlier, that there's going to be certain jokes that I don't think are going to land, and the attention span of, like, even you said it earlier, you don't even know if you were looking at your phone, when you missed the Statler and Waldorf.
Well, because I think because it was during the. So to be fair, it did happen after the credits rolled.
It did.
So
True.
that credits are usually when you go, okay, phone time. So I will
True.
give
That is
myself
true.
that. Like,
Can I give you a quick side note that I didn't know
Sure.
about, that I learned during this whole conformity gate thing for Stranger Things?
oh god.
No, listen.
Okay.
It's just relevant to what you said right now.
Okay.
I didn't know this, but I noticed that in a lot of Netflix TV shows, and I guess a lot of other platforms do this too, but it gets very repetitive where the actors are telling you the plot, and they're telling you the plot device of the scene over and over throughout the show.
Oh, I know what you're talking
because it's a
about, yeah.
tactic that Netflix has employed into the script writing for all of these shows, because they know that people are going to be potentially using their phones while they're watching, and it's a reminder about what the plot and what the show is about.
So if they check in like 10 minutes after like a major thing happened, they're like, okay, so the murderer did this thing.
They're basically narrating what just happened. I was
Right.
like, I was so annoyed when I started catching on to it, and it wasn't until this conformity gate thing that somebody explained why it kept happening in Stranger Things. I thought it was because they were like signaling some Vecna thing. It's like, nope, it's just a Netflix thing. They do it because they think people aren't paying attention. I was like, what? Damn them. So anyway,
Also,
Back
there,
to the
I think one last thing. There are some like vaguely famous people in the audience besides Maya Rudolph, in the Muppet Show audience.
who did you
I
catch?
was trying to look up more people, but a guy from a podcast I listened to is also an actor. Griffin Newman from Blank Check was in the audience.
Oh,
He was
nice.
also in The Tick. And then two Broadway people, Leslie Margarita and Max Clayton. Leslie Margarita, my wife really likes. She was on Broadway. She was in Matilda. She's in a bunch of stuff. But I was trying to look up to see if there's any other people, because there's a couple people in there that I'm like, that face looks familiar, but I don't know who it is. So I may have more names as it comes, as the time comes. Who knows? But it seems like at least some of the people in the audience are somewhat known people.
Nice.
Besides Maya Rudolph.
No, that's
And
good
all the
to
other
know.
Muppets that are in there. Yeah, there's like people. I'm looking at a shot right now. I'm like, there's this guy with this big beard sitting next to a lady, and I swear he's some guy, and I don't know who he is.
That's fine.
I'm sure some of these people are just like family of people or
Maybe.
extras or whatever. Like, we're just filling out the audience. But yeah, it's just it's great to have the Muppet Show back, and I hope that it will actually make a series.
Yeah. So that actually is a really great place to transition, because over the years, part of the issue I think that we've had with the Muppets getting more love is, and not to put Bob Iger on the spot here, but a lot of it has to do with Bob Iger not liking the Muppets.
That's
You
the
know,
rumor
he's-
anyway. We found right.
Yeah, apparently Bob Chapek, when he took over, people were a little more hopeful because Bob Chapek is a bigger fan of the Muppets, and so people were like, "Oh wow, he's gonna bring him back," and now he's no longer doing that.
That didn't
job.
last very long.
Yeah, but to transition to our next topic, Josh D'Amaro is said to be a very big Muppet fan. And so it does leave us in a very hopeful place to potentially get more episodes of the Muppets going forward. With that said, this week we got the news that Josh D'Amaro is going to be the next CEO of the Disney company, taking over for Bob Iger when Bob officially leaves the company in December. However, Josh will be taking over starting in March 18th, as a matter of fact, if I remember correctly. As part of the announcement, Dana Walden, she's currently the co-chair of Disney Entertainment. She's going to become the president and chief creative officer for the company as well. So she's going to report directly to Josh. And we'll be focusing on the storytelling and creative strategy across all of Disney's businesses. So your first thoughts on the announcement of Josh D'Amaro and Dana Walden?
Not surprised it's Josh. I'm really happy it's a two-person team like we were talking about previously, because we've seen a one-person team derail the company and stuff. So hopefully this will bring light to the force and, you know, even things out, balance things out. I want to say my expectations are low, but I'm hopeful. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's I mean, it's not a surprise that Josh D'Amaro is taking over, and Dana Walt. These are the two rumored people for months now.
Yeah.
And you know, Josh D'Amaro, from what I understand, has like risen up the ranks. Like I believe he started at Disneyland. Just
He's
like
been
working
with the company
at
for
the
28
parks.
years.
Yeah, I think he just like started working at the parks, and he's worked
Yeah.
his way up, and he's the freaking CEO there, buddy boy. Like
Yep.
that's the way. That's the story you want, in theory, is a person that like started as you know, whatever. I don't know what he started doing at the parks originally. I didn't have time to look it up, but you know, started as just an employee, and there you go. Now you're running the whole kit and caboodle. So I'm excited for what the two, Josh and Dana, will bring. The chief creative officer is a new role, I believe, that they created for her to kind of have this power balance, I guess, or something. Just have checks and balances when it comes to this sort of thing, which I agree, I think is a good thing. And I believe if it says she's going to, because it says president and chief creative officer, so I'm assuming that means president of the board. I'm not sure what that means, because it just says president.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming Josh D'Amaro, CEO, Dana Walden, president of the board, chief creative officer.
Yeah. Potentially.
Yeah, if that's what we're reading into president as, I don't know. But you know, we had a quote unquote parks person before as from Chapek, but I don't necessarily call him a parks person. He started in what, merchandise and things like that, and then because
he's the one that gave us the Disney Vault.
Right. And he grew that and was like, hey, money, 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 come over here and do your money thing on the parks. Where Josh kind of rose up through the parks. And if that's the thing that we're caring about the most, you know, and it seems like the company itself is sort of positioning itself in a destination, go to the parks, go on the cruise line, experiences kind of thing. That's like their 60% of their revenue is parks and experiences instead of movies. So it makes sense that a parks person is is taking that helm.
Yeah.
But that's where Dana Walden comes in, because she came from Fox, a movie studio, so it gives you that person to understand the film side of things, especially because Josh has been in Parks Land this whole time. So I do have high hopes for the team, and I hope to see positive changes that are noticeable and substantial.
Yeah, you both touched on several of the points that I wanted to make as well. The fact that they're splitting up the team this way makes a lot of sense. When I look back at the legacy of Bob Iger, I admired Bob Iger for a really long time, and I mean I still do, right? I admired a lot of what he did, a lot of how he also rose through the ranks to get to the CEO position, except he came through like ABC and ABC Sports and like the newscasting and all that stuff side of it. So he had a slightly different rise into the CEO role, regardless of how he rose in the ranks. I mean, the way that he brought so many other companies into the Disney umbrella, how he got like all the acquisitions and stuff, it's unparalleled, in really in any segment of industry, aside from what we're potentially seeing right now with the weird consolidation of like what Warner Brothers is trying to sell off and all that stuff. But I mean, that's different. That's because they're in this weird like flash sale sort of situation.
Right.
The way that Bob worked all of his acquisitions, these were like, most of those companies weren't even for sale, right? And so he still acquired them. So it's definitely something to admire. However, at the same time, there's some argument about how it also kind of may have ruined the franchises in certain ways, because they had to shift the way that they were doing business, because they had to kind of do it the Disney way now, and they had to meet expectations for investors and stuff like that. So there's always going to be good and there's always going to be bad with anybody that's running a company, right? There's a lot of gears that are moving, and they're not always easy to make work all together. And especially the way that a lot of things in the world have been over the last decade has certainly added a couple of challenges here and there for the way that the Disney company has done business. Really, everybody has done business. Overall, though, I do, obviously I can't speak for how Bob Iger feels, but Bob Iger's been trying to retire for a long time, right? He's been brought back, to keep running things because, his contract was originally extended before, a couple of times, and then Bob Chapek took over, and then that didn't work out, and he had to come back again, and so he's been running the company for a really long time, and I can only imagine that there's a part of Bob, and this is purely speculative on my part, but I think Bob Iger's tired of doing this already.
I mean, he's old.
And there's a lot of problems and stuff that come with running a company the size of Disney. There's also some foresight, I think, that happens where when certain things happen, certain acquisitions and everything, you can kind of forecast what's going to happen 5 or 10 years, right? Or at least you try to forecast that stuff. So there's also a part of me that thinks that I think he knew some of the things that were coming, starting from when Bob Chapek was supposed to take over the company.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to get.
He didn't want the backlash on him, right? And unfortunately, because it didn't work out with Bob Chapek, some of the backlash ultimately came back onto him. So I think he wants to just leave that so that his legacy also remains intact. Again, purely speculative.
What's left of his legacy,
or what's left of it at this point, yeah. But bringing Josh in, like he's such like a well-known person in the parks. Like he's always walking around Disneyland, shaking hands with people, taking photographs. He's really
Very
big
approachable.
on social media. Yeah, he's so approachable. And coming in as CEO, there's a lot of things that I feel that over the course of the last 3 years specifically, Bob Iger had every opportunity to change and to course correct. But I feel that it was a tactical move to leave them the way that they were so that Josh can fix them.
Interesting.
So that not only does he come in as the guy that everybody knows and loves from the parks, but also comes in as the hero that's fixing a lot of the things that were wrong. So I anticipate some changes, obviously, to like the cost of entering the park.
Get that reservations out of there, baby.
Maybe the reservations going away. Potentially, you know, altering things like the DAS system that was very controversial when they made all the changes.
Crap.
Bringing back the old fast passes instead of lightning lane, like, or figuring out a way to integrate the old system with some of the new one, you know, so that there's kind of the best of both worlds.
Right.
I do. There's a part of me that feels that what could have been corrected, Bob kind of knew, knowing because the field was so narrow of the potential candidates that would become CEO. That's why we saw Bob Iger and Josh in the park so often together.
Right.
You know, think about it. Like for the last 2 or 3 years, there's a lot of photos of them walking through the park, people taking a bunch of pictures, posting on social media. Oh my God, I just met Bob Iger and Josh tomorrow. You know, it happened a lot. And Josh has this really big vision for the parks. He loves the parks.
Yeah.
So his taking over, I feel, is also going to benefit Imagineering in ways that we haven't seen since Michael Eisner.
I
You
sure
know?
hope so.
So I'm very hopeful of Josh Tomorrow taking over. Again, I don't think there's ever going to be anybody that ever takes over a company the size of Disney that's going to make everybody happy. There's always going to be some people that are going to be against it for one reason or another. But there's a lot of positives with Josh coming in as the new CEO. And again, a lot of the things that a lot of us have complained about or have really felt have changed in the Disney company, not for the better over the course of the last few years. I really do think Josh is going to be the one that's going to make enough of a change that people are going to be like, oh my God, they finally did something about this. And people are going to be happier and they're going to start feeling more positive, you know, towards the parks and, you know, hopefully kind of reclaim some of that Disney magic that a lot of people have felt they've lost in the last few years, you know, so. I'm wishing him the best. I really do hope that he succeeds in this role, and I'm looking forward to seeing what changes and what positive things come from this. And obviously with Dana Walden in the creative role, like you were saying earlier, having it split like that is a great it's a great idea, going back to that format, because it's such a large company. You can't have one person doing everything. And again, Josh feels like such a creative person that I do think that we're going to see a little bit of a renaissance when it comes to Imagineering and what they implement and what they can do going forward under his guidance and leadership.
Sure. Well, and it's not even what they can do, it's what the company will pay for. They can give us the mood the Imagineering can. It's just, will the Walt Disney Company pay for it? So that's kind of, I think, the thing that we're gonna be hoping for is the budget. You know, the parks are making so much money why are we not investing, so much into the expanding the parks and making there be more room for people so you can sell more tickets and blah, 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 blah. Why can Universal open a roller coaster in a year, excuse me, but it takes Disney 5 years to do anything? Like, these are the things that I think Disney parks fans get frustrated with when you talk about the theme park wars and all this stuff, where like Universal opened a whole theme park in 4 years or 3 years or whatever it was, with all these attractions and da 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 da, and it took Disney 7 years or 6 years or something to build that Tron roller coaster. And Tomorrowland's still sitting there, and we can go on and on about all the things that they've done, the little this, the little that, the whatever, the blah 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 blah. But as a person that goes to the park still, often enough, a couple times a year, that's more often than a lot of people, there doesn't seem to be major changes happening, and there doesn't seem to necessarily be upkeep happening like it should. Like, just the budgets for maintenance and stuff like that aren't nearly what they used to be. I mean, it doesn't seem like that anyway. Stuff is in disrepair. Like, if I'm paying, I've said this 100 times on the podcast, is like, if I'm paying for, a premium price to come visit your establishment, I should have some level of expectation of all the things working in that place. Yeah. So if I go on Indiana Jones, all the things that are supposed to work should work, as opposed to like some weird dark corner that doesn't happen. Or if I go on Pirates of the Caribbean, sure, maybe one of the pirates is missing or whatever, but hey, all this other stuff is broken, or what it may be, I don't know. But seems to be like a lot of cases where it's like, oh, that whole section of the ride doesn't work, or it's been like that for X amount of time and they just don't have the money to fix it or whatever, or all this paint is chipping and they just et cetera, et cetera. So those are the things that I wish would be addressed.
And it's funny you mentioned that too, because that's always been one of the prime comparisons between why people will always compare Six Flags or not and Disney and say like, oh, that's Six Flags attitude, or
right,
oh, that's Knott's this, or you know what I mean?
Knott's core.
Right, because there's the expectation, like what you're saying is like, you go to Magic Mountain and you're paying $29, $50 to get in, but you have a whole theme park. Obviously you're paying less, and in some places you're getting more. At Knott's you're paying X amount, which is much less to get in on a day ticket. But I mean, honestly, I've never liked those comparisons, because it's like comparing apples to oranges to pears, I think. Because
everybody's offering something different.
They're offering,
not
exactly, they're not the same. But the specific examples of like, oh, you only see the paint chipping like that at Six Flags, or like, those were comments that you would hear people say, and that's where those comparisons
and I think
came
that
from.
used to be true at one point.
Right.
Like, Disney's upkeep budget and everything at one point was like, especially when Walt was around, but going into the recent past, like, was much more of a priority than it does seem to be now.
Yeah. And because Josh is such a big parks person, that's why I think a lot of these things are going to begin to shift. At least I'm hopeful that they will begin to shift. Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Because he admires and he loves the park so much. So, as you say, only time will tell.
Best of luck to you, Joshy and Dana.
Yeah.
I don't have a nickname for you, Dana. Sorry, I got Joshy.
Not yet.
Not yet. But
do something good or do something bad, and you'll get a nickname, I guess.
No.
Yeah.
Do something good. We don't want
just
to
only
bad.
do good.
You know what? Come on the podcast. Tell us what you're gonna do.
Yeah, come on.
Podcast. Let's have a chat.
You're a people person. Come on the lowly
let's chat for a little
Podketeers. Come on, almost 12 years on this internet. Somebody's got to want to talk to us, right?
One day.
One day.
All right. Any final thoughts on anything that we talked about before we wrap up for today?
Oh, my shirt. I can talk about my shirt. Now we
Yeah.
talked
Tell us
about
your shirt.
This is a Haunted Mansion shirt. It's like a little, outline of the building. It says Haunted Mansion Disneyland. That's embroidered. That's fun. This came from a recent trip. I like it. I love a good black t-shirt. I wear mostly black t-shirts in my life, dark colored t-shirt. So when you find a t-shirt that's black and it has a nice design, I'm like, I have to buy this. I think I will die if I don't.
Yeah. I'm still working on this design. I think I may have showed it earlier, but
Oh, the villain.
Ah.
Yes.
yeah. So still working on this.
And
design.
Melissa is
Unreleased,
Miss
but
Piggy.
I am.
Miss Piggy Core.
Miss Piggy Core. All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode. We would love to hear your thoughts on anything that we talked about in this episode. So please join us in the comment section over on YouTube, or join us in our Discord community. Again, over on the links page, you'll be able to find a link to join us there as well. How do you feel about the Muppets? If you had a chance to watch that, how do you feel about Josh D'Amaro and Dana Walden coming on board as the CEO and now president of Disneyland? Again, that's happening in
Walt
March.
Disney Company.
Yeah, of the Walt Disney Company. Exactly. Thank you for that.
Yep, no problem.
That's going to be happening in March. Bob Iger will remain on as part of... I forgot what his role is going to be specifically. He's going to be like senior advisor of the
boring
Disney board
blah,
member,
who
something like
cares?
I really do hope that Bob Iger is a little more hands off than he was with Bob Chapek to allow the transition to happen a little bit smoother. But I do believe that they have a little more faith in Josh running the company than I think they did in Bob's ability, or Bob Chapek's ability to run it, sadly. So we'll see. So that's it. That's going to wrap it up. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.